Straight ahead on IU NewsNet Daily, a federal judge dismissed charges against President-elect Donald Trump on Monday, following a request from the Department of Justice.
A new Bloomington Fire Department unit is focusing on prevention to reduce emergency runs.
The Hoosiers wrapped up their best football season ever against their in-state rival. IU NewsNet Daily starts right now.
Hello and welcome to IU NewsNet Daily. I'm Jack Bassett.
And I'm Emma Meredith. It's Tuesday, December 3rd, and thank you for tuning in.
A woman who reported being sexually assaulted by former IU football player Connor Delp has filed a lawsuit against Indiana University and IU Health Bloomington. The lawsuit claims IU ignored Delp's previous sexual misconduct allegations and failed to prevent future assaults. According to the Indiana Daily student, Delp was removed from team activities in late 2021 after an accusation of sexual misconduct. He returned to the team in 2022. The lawsuit also states that IU Health Bloomington did not report the incident to the police or provide necessary resources.
According to Tyler Spence at the Indiana Daily student, Indiana University's updated expressive activity policy continues to raise constitutional concerns. During a panel discussion, IU professors and trustee Vivian Winston questioned the policy's vague language and inconsistent enforcement. The policy, which limits protests and gatherings, has faced backlash since its Rush amendment last spring, just before mass arrests of pro-Palestinian protesters at Dunn Meadow. The ACLU sued IU in August, arguing the rules violate First Amendment rights. While updates in November allowed exceptions for university-approved events, critiques, including Winston, argue the policy remains overly broad and unclear. Experts say IU's policy might set a new legal standard for the First Amendment cases.
Jumbo Firewood, an Indiana log company, is doing something much greater than selling products. It's working to transform lives. The business, founded by Antonio Jackson, provides jobs to people with criminal records, including registered sex offenders who often struggle to find work. Jackson himself spent more than half his life incarcerated before turning his life around. Inspired by his grandmother's words and his faith, he started Jumbo Firewood to offer ex-offenders a second chance. His workers split and package firewood sold at more than 30 locations in Indiana. Jackson says his business is built on family values, providing not just jobs, but a support system for those ready to change their lives.
In a major legal development, a federal judge dismissed charges against President-elect Donald Trump on Monday, following a request from Department of Justice Special Counsel Jack Smith. The charges, which alleged Trump attempted to overturn the 2020 election, were dropped as Smith cited long-standing DOJ policy barring the prosecution of sitting presidents. Trump still faces uncertainty with ongoing state-level cases in New York and Georgia, but neither is expected to impact his presidency. And the National Labor Relations Board has ruled that the United States Postal Service violated federal labor law by discharging a Greensburg, Pennsylvania letter carrier. Nicholas Montross has invoked his union-protected rights under a collective bargaining agreement. The decision orders the USPS to reinstate Montross, compensate him for lost earnings, and remove all records related to the incident. The ruling highlighted the NLRB's commitment to protecting employees and retaliation for exercising their rights.
A late-night crash in nearby Jackson County left I-65 northbound littered in vehicle parts. Monday evening, a multi-vehicle collision left dozens of engines and transmissions scattered across the roadway after a trailer lost its load. Crews spent more than 3 hours in snowy and windy conditions to clear the debris and reopen the highway. Indiana State Police are investigating the incident, but say no serious injuries were reported. And according to Jeremy Hogan at the Bloomingtonian, a multi-vehicle crash on Thanksgiving afternoon left 4 people injured and shut down South Walnut Street near East Miller Drive. First responders found a driver unconscious in a blue Kia Optima. Emergency medical services initially requested at least 3 ambulances to the crash scene. 4 ambulances were eventually dispatched due to the severity of injuries. 3 patients were classified as trauma alerts. Bloomington police initiated an accident reconstruction investigation to determine the cause of the crash.
A fire destroyed a home on East Stewart Road in Monroe County earlier this week. Firefighters arrived around 6:30 a.m. Sunday morning to find the home engulfed in flames, with part of the roof collapsed. The homeowners woke to the smell of smoke, spotted the fire, and evacuated safely. Investigators say firefighters struggled to tackle the fire due to the home's complex design, which created hidden pockets of flames. Despite the challenges, no injuries were reported.
And sticking with local fire department efforts, a new Bloomington Fire Department unit is focusing on prevention to reduce emergencies. The Mobile Integrated Health Unit, or MIH, takes a holistic approach to help residents who repeatedly need emergency services. The unit's 7 EMTs spend time with patients, addressing underlying issues like fall risk, chronic illnesses, or mental health needs. The team also supports elder care, substance abuse, and families in crisis. Since its launch, Lift Assist calls that help people who have fallen have dropped by half, saving time and resources. And this past weekend was a battle against the Boilermakers in college football for IU, where the Hoosiers had some business to take care of against their in-state rival.
And IU NewsNet's Jay Upshaw is here in the studio to give us a recap of the Hoosiers' historic dominating win over the Boilermakers. Jay?
The Hoosiers ended their season with a bang by recording their first ever 11-win season. On Saturday, they won their final game against Purdue with a score of 66-0. This is IU's first shutout game against the Boilers since 1945 and the most points scored against them as well. Quarterback Curtis Rourke is now tied with the singles-game touchdown pass record with 6 touchdowns. This season is likely to secure IU a spot in the playoffs. Looking good, Hoosiers. But the IU basketball team doesn't seem to be faring as well. The Hoosiers had a rough week in the Battle for Atlantis matchup. Unfortunately, they walked away with back-to-back losses against Louisville and Gonzaga. Luckily, they were able to turn it around in their matchup against Providence with a final score of 89-73. With this positive momentum, hopefully the team can improve and gear up for their matchup against Sam Houston tonight. Fortunately, things seem to be different on the women's end. In the Battle for Atlantis last week, Indiana women's basketball came back swinging. The team coasted to a 78-53 win against Maine in Bloomington this Sunday. For the first time this season, IU has had one of their lowest accumulated turnovers, with 9 of their own and forced 16 on defense. The Hoosiers showed good defense, and hopefully they can keep the momentum for their next matchup on Wednesday in Assembly Hall. This Saturday, IU's men's soccer season came to an end. The Hoosiers lost 1-0 to Denver in round 16 of the 2024 NCAA tournament. This is the 10th consecutive season the team has made it to the tournament's third round, and they managed to finish the season with an 11-5-5 record. Here's to next season, extending it further. At IU, new research is being done to identify ways to protect young athletes from head injuries. In 2019, Kei Kawada, a research scientist at IU, received a $3 million grant from the National Institute of Health. That money is funding the country's largest study of subconcussive impacts in high school football and soccer players. The study is focused on measuring the accumulated effect of subconcussive head impacts using mouthguard technology with built-in sensors. The goal is to reduce exposures, new blows, and lessen the amount of head-related injuries on the field. That does it for me here in the sports world. Jack and Emma, back to you.
Thank you, Jay. Country legend Dolly Parton is lending her star power to help Hoosier children read 9 to 5. Parton's nonprofit program, Imagination Library, provides free books to children from birth to age 5, making a big impact in Indiana. Over 48,000 books have been distributed across Greene, Lawrence, Orange, and Owen counties. This effort, supported by community partnerships and generous donations, has reached more than 2,000 children in the region. And don't miss a special Dolly-themed story time on December 11th at the Bloomfield Eastern Greene County Public Library from 10:30 to 11 a.m. Thank you so much for joining us today. We will continue to keep cheering on our Hoosiers as they hope to make history in the upcoming college football playoffs.
That does it for us here on IU NewsNet Daily. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you back here on Thursday.